unguye usuka eItaly. The only thing that made us feel like correct
It's too much.
yes is the coldness, not apologizing when she's wrong, always standing up and excusing her wrongs, and just she doesn't give a fuck, you know.
Am I the only one who has noticed that each time Liema and Q are having a conversation, especially about Tandeka, Q subtly shades Tandeka. He always has one or two things to say, or he would always agree with what Liema has to say about Tandeka. Or maybe when they are talking, when you're having a conversation with someone and you're thinking of the word to use or how to classify that person, the other person can help, the significant other can help. Like maybe you're looking for the right word to use. Q always brings it out. You understand? I remember the last time they were having a conversation, and Q was still saying that yeah, nobody has issues with Melly. It's always tea, la la la, but you're indirectly talking bad about her. Now, what happened, guys? Anyway, let me welcome you back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Don't forget to hit the like button and be subscribed to the YouTube channel. There's nothing wrong in people having conversations. There's nothing wrong in talking about a housemate. Of course, that's what they've been doing. People said Liema was talking about Thandeka. That was why she put um sugar in her rice instead of, I didn't watch where she was telling Tracy, but I know when she was putting that thing, okay, the way, if I when she was putting it, I was like, is it not going to be too salty? I never knew that was sugar, according to what I'm seeing now in the social space, because I watched that conversation. I watched when they were in the kitchen before Biggie announced that it was an hour for them to get ready for the arena games. Okay, but guys, please, what are they cooking really? If I should ask, what is that? I thought it was a mashed potato because the way the thing was looking, they were adding spices here and there with curry. I thought it was mashed potato looking all fine. In fact, I was even saying I'm good. I never knew that thing is rice like that. Ha, you shame. Anyway, it's Lema and Q that are in the kitchen. This kitchen duty today. I don't know if it's this whole week or today. Both of them are in the kitchen, right? And Lema started talking about what happened, what transpired actually before the whole week situation. She even brought in Neliswa. As at the time I tuned in was when she was analyzing Neliswa's game with Tandega, saying that they thought Neliswa was going to be friends with Tandega. That Neliswa is somebody who Neliswa is patient, very patient. So it takes her time to blow up, or it takes her time to actually react to something. So they felt Deliswa and Tandega were going to be close, but then it wasn't adding up. It wasn't clicking. Okay, I guess the conversation, whatever, or maybe the energy wasn't matching, according to Uluyema and Q. So then she said, there is Trixie. That Trixie is someone who you give it to me here, I give it to you back. And that is how most of them are in the house. That's how some of the girls, like some of them are. And Q said, no, it's not just some of them, that all of them literally are like that. Because she was trying to say that why it seems like maybe they are like matching Thandeka's energy is because they are not really like patient or as patient as Neliswa, because Trici's is like, you're doing this, you're giving it to me like this, I'm giving it to you back immediately, and that's how she is, and that's how every other person. And Q was like, yeah, everybody. So they start talking about why they weren't able to be friends with Tandeka because of the way she does. That Tandeka never apologizes, finds it very hard to apologize, even when she's wrong. That she makes some kind of jokes that when she used to be cool with her, when she used to be very cool with Tandeka, there was a time Tandeka called her an animal or what, that she said she looks, oh, yo. There was a lot she was saying. And I'm like, oh, Liema, you've complained too much. I think Liema and Tandeka are going to pack things up. Honestly, all these things you get. Okay, why I said Q? Because there was something they were saying. Q said mean. She was trying to say, yeah, Tandeka is mean, like mean towards them or something. I don't know, guys. Like I was saying that I don't know if this is Tandeka's strategy. We all know that initially the energy was somehow, but it seems Liema took it too far. Tandeka is no sense. No, 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 no. We can't call Tandeka a saint because she also contributed to whatever it is they were doing to her. She was not really that, but it will take you some time to understand that, oh, is just in her mouth, but deep down she's a nice person. It's just that she doesn't really know how to spill it out. She may appear very demeaning in her words, she may appear rude in her words, but then she's a nice person. So it will take you some time to get to understand. I think Neliswa would have really been that person who would have kind of understood her, since Uliema is telling us that Neliswa is a very patient person. But I think they brought her over. Trixie, Uliema, and all. They brought her over. Okay. And Q said, yeah, mean. I'm like, okay, Q, you know all of this about her. Yeah, you still coexist with her. That's nice. But I feel you should also call that person to order and say what. Because I know Q has had this conversation with Uliema not once, not twice. This is not the first time I'm listening to their conversation about Tandega, how she's rude, how she's this, how this happens, how that happens, and why they were not able or they aren't able to like coexist with her and be friends. Okay. This is not the first time. And in all of that conversation, Q always has something to contribute negatively. Okay, so I think Q is not really that sensing, but at the same time, I'm not going to blame them because that's their observation. That's their observation about Thandeka. Like I said, Thandeka is no sense. We know that, yeah, at the beginning of the show, Thandeka was a little bit um they didn't understand her. It appeared like, oh, you're rude, oh, you're. But you look in all of that, it's just short lived. She just says it the way it is, not even knowing how far the recipient is taking it. Okay. But then I felt like instead of trying to, be malicious or trying to make it look like, oh, she's this evil person, she's this, that, I think they would have kind of you know, called her, talked to her, and because this conversation is becoming a lot about why we're friends with her, we can't be friends with her, that's why we're not this. I don't even know how they started that conversation. I only opened my app only for me to hear them having that conversation, cooking in the kitchen and talking about that. And I don't know if it's because of that Uliema's rice now has paused. That she added brown sugar instead of salt. I don't know whether it was someone who mistakenly put the sugar in the salt container, or I don't know exactly what is happening. Okay, but then the way Ulema is talking about Tandeka, she just explained and explaining. I think, can you guys have a conversation before the show ends? I don't know if Biggie is going to organize something where the housemates get to like talk about themselves, tell me what it is you think you don't like about me, and I'll say what, or talk about how each of the housemates have touched themselves. Yeah, have this person has touched their life or what. They do it in some seasons, like finale week, maybe that day of wager. They use it to like appreciate the housemate, say your observations about them. I think if Biggie can incorporate that this season, it's going to make sense because I think they need it. They really need to have conversations in that house. Things people are just kind of like coexisting now, talking as if things has been patched up. But I feel conversation, reconciliation is needed. Even if outside you guys are not going to be friends, you guys are not going to be very cool. But then for the sake of your sanity, the show, and peace of mind, I just feel like they should have that. But one thing I'm trying to say is that Q is no sense too. In as much as we feel like, oh, Q is on Tandeka's side, he still has one or two things to say each time he's having a conversation with, especially Uliema or any other person about Tandega. This week, I told myself, you see, from that to finale, I'm not here. I'm not going to judge anyone. However you feel is your game. Fine, play the game. At the end of the day, you guys are in the house to win the money. It's your strategy or whatever it is. Okay, so I'm just going to be analyzing it based on, oh, this was the conversation they were having. This was what they said. This was what happened. I'm not going to say, oh, why did you have this conversation about this person? Definitely, they're in the house. They're going to be talking about each other. That's it. So this is their observation, guys. This is what Uliema was explaining that made them not to kind of like associate so much with Thandeka. So you're going to be telling me in the comment section, what you feel about it. And Q also always contributing his own take when it comes to Otandega, guys. So please, I'll be waiting for responses in the comment section. Okay, let's just talk to me in the comment section. What do you think about that conversation they're having? Do you think Ulema is upset? Do you think Ulema wants reconciliation? Do you think because why are you always talking about it? You guys should just let it be. If you guys want to patch things up, forget about the past, and there is no need always, you know, always talking about. And Q, who I feel is close to T, cannot go to her like I called her T like he calls her. At least you can her down, have a conversation with her. It's also you're trying to help her. Yeah, you're trying to help her because she's going to be there in the outside world, and it is what it is. Share it us in the comment section. I'll see you in the next time. Bye.